Hello, this is Dr. J back with some more Let's Play Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp Blind. As we continue blasting our way through the war room. Next up, we are going to destroy Flak. We are going to continue doing so as Red Sturm.
So it shall be.
Let's go, Sturm. You weird Imperial alien dude. Alright, so just how drastically out resourced are we this fight? 17-7. It just gets worse all the time. And yeah, as we observed at the end of the previous episode, these are not contiguous areas, so there's going to be a lot of naval combat. So I don't see any airports. And okay, we do have a port here. Probably going to want to build an APC to capture all this stuff. And one to capture all this stuff as well. I have a feeling this is going to be long. I have a feeling most of the war room maps are going to be long from this point forward because they're stacked so much in our opponent's favor. Yeah, look at all that stuff that he can build, because he has so many more properties than us. Oh well, at least we're going to have lots of time to shore up our position, seeing as how we're basically on an island, before he's able to start attacking us. So that'll be fortunate. I hear a sound. Is that my Nintendo Switch being that loud? It's so loud that I could hear it even through my earbuds, which are playing the game audio quite loudly for me. Hold on, I'm just going to go take a listen and see if that's what it is. I think it is, but I'm not going to worry about it, because the Switch is clearly working just fine. So if it wants to be loud, whatever. I think the first thing I'm going to do is capture this, this factory here. So, 1, 2, and drop off a guy and then start capping, or drop him off here. And then 1, 2, and start capping. I think it'll be just as fast to drop him off right away. And then I can start sending my APC back more quickly. Let's see. Gotta make up for our huge deficit in properties as quickly as we can. I could be proven wrong, but my impression is that this map isn't really going to be that difficult, but that it's going to be super grindy. It might take us a long time indeed. That's my suspicion. Early capture phase here. And since we actually can't fight Flak yet, not really any combat to be had. That said, I may soon reach a point where I want to stop just building APCs and infantry for capturing and start preparing some defenses for the inevitable landing that we're going to have to face soon enough. He's going to be dropping off a bunch of tanks and stuff on our territory, so we're going to need to be prepared to repel that. It's an interesting map layout. And I do like the variety in all these map layouts. I think I've said this before, but it really makes me feel like I'm playing an old game of Empire Deluxe. I'm kind of skeptical that even a single person watching is ever going to have played that, but if so, shout out to you. That is some old school strategy gaming right there. Very old school. Alright, I think I might actually start saving up for... how do I see how far it can move? I can't use the button to check its threat range because it has no weapon. Okay, fine. So its movement is 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I don't think there's much point in moving this guy anywhere, really. But I'll just move him here. So I'm going to put him on the APC and then start looping the APC around. But yeah, these war room maps really kind of have the feel of old Empire 1v1s. Although they'd feel even more like that if they had Fog of War. As Empire and Empire Deluxe were Fog of War games, inherently. Though I think you could turn that off if you wanted, but that wasn't the default. So if you're not familiar with Empire, basically picture this game with much, much older graphics, because that was like 1980s? 1980s and then 1990s, I think, for Empire Deluxe, but anyway, quite old. Bigger maps and no characters. Like, there were no COs, but otherwise, it's actually fairly similar. Those games had typically, not always, because you could end up starting close to an enemy, but typically they had very long early game sections that were just like this, just lots and lots of expanding and capturing cities to increase your amount of resources. And it would usually take a while before you encountered the enemy and joined combat. Alright, presumably incoming landings are going to be on these beaches, so I'm going to build some medium tanks to reinforce here, maybe some artillery and or MLRS as well. We're not going to need to worry about aerial combat at all. Alright, that's another turn. But yeah, it's just a similarity of the early game, where there's no combat with the enemy, and you're just building a lot of infantry to go capture nearby cities and expand. Just kind of made me think of Empire, so that's why I randomly started talking about that. Alright, let's start capping this factory. And yeah, our APCs aren't going to be able to cross the mountains, so that's the end of the line for them. To get this last stuff, we're just going to have to drop the infantry off, and they're going to have to go on foot from that point forward. So I might have overcooked the APCs a little bit. But we'll find a use for them, either as decoys or mobile supply units, or what have you. Let's get another medium. Or actually, we can afford a Neo now, so let's do that. Looks like Flak isn't in any kind of hurry to start attacking us. We don't want to accidentally get in range of that MLRS, of course. Or rocket artillery. I guess it doesn't really look like an MLRS at that point. It's only the orange star one that does, really. I've been continuing to work on my current major personal project. By the time this posts, which will be in mid to late August, I believe, though I'm recording it in early July, there's a high chance I'll have already released an announcement video and possibly even made public the initial version of my current big personal project, which you might remember quite a few videos ago I was talking about whether I wanted to work on my own original war game that I've been building from scratch, or a sequel to my Red Alert Alternative mod, and that at the time I was leaning toward working on my original wargame project. But as it turns out, that's not what I ended up doing. I ended up working on Tiberian Alternative. And as of right now, I have drafts of the first half, the missions of the first half done. My outline calls for a 36 mission campaign, and I finished the first 18 missions. And I'm probably going to release those publicly and let people start playing them and stuff, and then work on the second half and then release that separately. And I currently have drafts of those first 18 missions done. And I've been working on creating the video briefings. And those are coming along pretty well. And then I've got more polish that I want to apply. And then I'm going to put it out for some internal playtesting to have people help me find bugs and work on the balance and so forth. And after that's done, I've gotten feedback from my playtesters and taken their feedback into account, fixed bugs, made balance tweaks, and so on. Then I reckon I'm going to package it up and make an announcement video and release it. So, yeah, it's coming along, making very good progress. I think I'll probably be doing a release in about 2 to 3 weeks, which from now would place it in late July to early August. So there's a good chance that'll have already happened by the time you're watching this, and I'll just be talking about a bunch of stuff that's already occurred. That's what happens when you do recordings way ahead of time. You have to try to predict the future. Let's build a couple landers. Oh, we can only afford one. Because we're going to want to be launching our own offensives, of course. I've been having a lot of fun working on that. I really enjoy game creation, especially level design, and I've been doing a whole lot of that. I am going to work on my original wargame again as well. That's probably going to be my next big project after I'm done with Tiberian Alternative, in fact. Is that a battleship? It sure is, okay. We're going to want something to deal with that. Submarine, perhaps. Maybe I should just wait until I capture... Okay, yeah, this is already captured. I'll build a sub there next turn. That'll be quicker. Well, we are very close to having fully secured our own island. And yeah, I honestly kind of have more guys deployed down here than I even need, so I think I'm going to turn this APC back. Go ahead and refuel. Okay, cool. And yeah, let's build a sub here next turn as soon as we move that guy off of that port. I've also been thinking about upcoming games I want to Let's Play. I've had a ton of fun with Advance Wars. I was really looking forward to this, and if anything, it has exceeded my expectations. It's really good. So I'm definitely interested in exploring more of the franchise. Okay, he's building a pretty significant navy. And we've finally got a lander coming for us. And, okay, we've got a medium tank and artillery, and I just realized he'll probably land on this beach right here. So, let's send a couple of these guys back. Move this guy here. Alright, let's get a sub. Capture this. I don't know that we'll even need this guy, but I'll go ahead and send him forward. I guess you can help bring them back. Although, am I even going to need that? I'm not sure I will, really, because I'll be able to put a lander here to pick them up. So that's fine. Speaking of which, you continue moving forward. And given that there's probably a landing coming here shortly, let's get a Neo tank. Alright. Coming along, coming along. I think we're finally about to start battling our opponent here. And we're going to have to build plenty of sea units to counter that big navy of his. And maybe some rocket artillery. Those are good at countering naval units as well. But anyway, as I was starting to say, I've had tons of fun with Advance Wars, so okay, never mind, he's not ready to land on us yet. I do want to continue exploring this franchise. From what commenters have told me, it sounds like the general consensus is that Dual Strike is a weaker entry in the series. Dual Strike comes after Advance Wars 1 and 2, I think. And that one is not as highly regarded. And it sounds like Days of Ruin is a little polarizing because it's a little darker than the Advance Wars games that preceded it, which as we've seen over the last 90 episodes, is very bright and colorful. And I guess Days of Ruin goes for a little bit of a darker feel. And that polarized some people, because there were people who really liked the bright, cartoony feel. But that, despite that polarization, the general impression I'm getting from my commenters is that it is generally more highly regarded than Dual Strike. And I think it sounds pretty interesting. I think taking the Advance Wars formula and making it maybe a little darker and more serious could actually potentially make for a really awesome game. So I think, at least for now, I'm going to skip Dual Strike and probably do an LP of Days of Ruin relatively soon after I finish Advance Wars 1 and 2. Maybe not immediately after, but maybe. I haven't decided on an exact timeline, but I do think that not too long after I finally finish all of the Advance Wars 1 and 2 content, not counting the challenge campaigns, that Days of Ruin is going to be next on the agenda in the relatively near future. Because I reckon a lot of you watching this, if you've watched this far, you'd probably like seeing some more Advance Wars content from me. So I think that there is going to be some more of that. And I'm quite looking forward to it. But we still have like 20 War Room missions to get through first, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. For folks who are interested in other LPs from me besides just Advance Wars stuff, I've always really liked mech games, and lately I've been getting back into playing those with some Armored Core games, and I have some others that I can get my hands on that I would like to play. So I think there's probably going to be a fairly large number of mech games coming in the near future. And in fact, as of right now, I have about 10 episodes of my Armored Core 5 playthrough already posted. And at some point in the nearest future, I think I'm going to be recording the sequel to that, Armored Core Verdict Day. And I'm looking forward to that quite a bit as well. Maybe save up for a battleship next. Actually, I don't need to save up, because that's right, they're 28,000. We can already afford one. You know, I can really... Can I cheese the heck out of this level by just plugging up all of my beaches with infantry? I guess not entirely, because this is close enough he could park an MLRS there and shoot infantry, but I think to an extent I can do that. And honestly, if I can, I will. So I'm just going to build a bunch of infantry and use some of the ones I already have to plug up my beachheads. Good luck landing on them now, loser. Cheesy, perhaps, but given the overwhelming advantage he started with, I'm happy to use cheesy tactics to make my island basically impregnable. Let's see. Okay, and yeah, we can plug up this one too. There we go. Beautiful. Man, we're like 23 minutes in and we still haven't had a single fight with Flak. I guess that's why I just started talking about a lot of random stuff besides Advance Wars, because there's not a whole lot to comment on in terms of fighting yet. There will be, there will be. I'm surprised Flak hasn't been more aggressive. He hasn't really made any attempt at landing on my side of the map at all. What are you doing, man? You started with such a big resource advantage. If you had been aggressive early, you might have been able to get something done. And don't you pride yourself on your aggression. I mean, your special abilities like brute force and barbaric blow or whatever. Alright, now let's not forget that we can use our APCs to refuel our sea units, because it's such a long journey through the water. I think we're going to have to do some of that. Alright, let's send these guys down to load up on the landers that we're going to build here. I might save up for another battleship as well. I think a lot of submarines and battleships are going to be useful here. Because there are no air units, cruisers are only going to be useful against submarines. And honestly, things like battleships and MLRS are good at destroying cruisers anyway. I haven't noticed... Okay, he has built one submarine. I may want 1 or 2 cruisers for dealing with his subs, but we'll see. We'll see. Alright, so how much money are we pulling in now? Okay, so not only does he start out with more properties, but he has more properties he's able to capture on his side of the map. Not a ton, but a little bit. 27 to 25, that's not overwhelming. But I can purchase another lander here, and I will do so. Okay, there's we're gonna have a lot of guys just kind of standing around. Because we built so many infantry to rapidly capture our side of the map quickly. He has a lot of stuff. He just is not interested in attacking me, but he has a lot of stuff. And a sneaky HQ drop does not look super viable on this map due to the lack of airports. It's not like I can build a transport heli to get it done. Now, I could try to avoid having to fight most of his land forces by fighting my way up the channel and only having to blast through his naval units, and then just try to drop my guys off on his front doorstep and go for a sneaky HQ capture that way. And that kind of appeals to me more than having to blast through all those units he's been building. There we go. Makes no sense, but now that we remember that is the game mechanic, we get a lot more use out of our APCs, our air units, and our naval units. It's so wonderful actually remembering how the game mechanics work. Thank you to the commenters who repeatedly reminded me when I was forgetting about being able to resupply my naval and air units with my APCs. And I'm not being sarcastic, I mean it. Thank you for all those reminders. I think that they have sunk in over time, and I'm going to make more use of that mechanic from now on. Let's get another battleship. Okay. That is just so much stuff. Oh, my sub is in... Oops. Should have been paying attention to that. Wasn't. Well, that sub's heading back to the port for repairs, I guess. Alright. I see what you're trying to do. It's not happening, buddy. Yeah, I do not want to have to fight my way through all that. We'll be here forever. We'll be here all day. Alright, let's get another Neo tank. Be careful not to put this in range of any artillery. That seems fine. And I'm 1,000 short of being able to get another lander this turn. Oh yeah, that MLRS is going to be able to hit my poor infantry. I should have had my submarine dive there. That was a mistake that I didn't. Definitely going to use my battleships to blow up his artillery, I think. That's a lot of loaded landers that he's finally sending my way, but it's a little late. Oh, something hit my infantry over there as well. Must have been a battleship, I guess. That's true. That is a little flaw in my plug up my beachheads plan. He can just blow up my infantry and then he'll be able to land there. So that's just a delaying action, really. Alright, his artillery retreated out of range of my battleship. Coward. There, that's in a position to shoot lots of stuff. Let's get some of our own MLRS for firing across the channel as well. Maybe we should have done that the other way around. Moved this, then moved this guy so I could have put him straight on the city, and then moved that into position, but oh well, whatever. Let's dive or submerge our sub. Alright, what next? What next? Maybe a medium tank here. This may not be the most exciting matchup we've ever seen. Alright, yep, just lost that infantry over there, and is he going to land? Okay, he just submerged a sub, a knight's jump away from that eastern cruiser, and yes, he has performed a landing. That's alright, it's not much of a landing, I'm not too concerned. We'll just manufacture some reinforcements. A Neo tank will take care of this problem. A little disappointed in that battleship, not one-shotting the artillery, but oh well. Alright, you go back for repairs. You plug the hole. Alright, and you can start healing up. Alright, you get into a position where you can do some long-range bombarding of the far shore as well. That should be out of range of that, yeah. There we go. Fuel up our ships with our APC, as people do. Alright, you need some repairs. Maybe get a light tank here as well, just to really reinforce it. Not to mention, I think the battleship might take a shot at our Neo. He went for the APC. Oh, of course he went for the APC. That wasn't even on purpose this time. Alright, and he dropped off an artillery. Oh, was his artillery on a city or something when I bombarded it? That would explain why it didn't take more damage. Well, that one's dead now. Should maybe flush out his sub, if we can. There we go. Oh, I apparently can't shoot at a submerged sub with rocket artillery. I guess that makes sense. It's unfortunate, though, because it means flushing out his sub is actually exactly what I didn't want to do. Oh well. Life goes on. Maybe not for my submariners, but... Is there anything in range of this guy? No, nothing. Alright, you leave port. Well, no, not yet. Let's save up for like another battleship or something. This is going to be a long fight, isn't it? I'm not seeing a way to do this fast. The map layout is just kind of set up so that we both have huge forces before we ever encounter each other. And to kind of make it a slow grind to get anywhere. Especially because you have to go so far around to even reach any beach landing points. No, my APC. That's fine. If you want to charge up my CO meter, have fun. Whew, boy. There's no option to save in the middle of a match, is there? No, I don't see anything like that. So we have to do this in one sitting. Ooh. That could take a while. Let's get these cruisers. Are you seriously in the dead zone? Fine, reset turn. I didn't realize it was in the dead zone. Alright, let's attack the other way around then. I forgot how huge the dead zone is on the rocket artillery. It's ginormous. Attack that guy, and the battleship can get the other one. There we go. Cruiser's dead. Now we do have an enemy submarine rampaging around, which might suddenly attack my battleship. Or sink one of my landers. Man, maybe I should have made it a higher priority to get some cruisers. Alright, 9 is good enough. Get back out there. Yeah, I think I should have. And okay, I definitely don't want landers full of Neo and medium tanks getting sunk, so let's pull these guys back a bit. And there, to chase off his battleship if possible. That thing will run out of ammo eventually. It's already low. 2 shots left. Are we about to get barbaric blowed? Sure enough.
Barbaric blow.
I think I'm a little more tired than I realized. I went out for a nice walk earlier and went down a fairly steep path, and then of course had to come back up. I think that tired me out a little bit. Oh wow, that Neo tank just took a big pile of damage. If I drop a meteor, it'll probably land on his fleet there, which is fine with me. Oh, yeah, he did create an opening there. That's a little problematic. Alright, let's drop our meteor. I think it'll land in the middle of his fleet.
Fear is all you have left.
Get those 2 landers in that battleship. At a minimum.
Meteor strike.
And seems confirmed. Actually, it might land a little farther north and get the battleship and those land units. Okay, that's what it did. Alright, that's fine. That works out. Finish off the battleship with our rocket artillery. Beautiful. You can go back for repair. We're going to need to do something about that, of course. Oh, nothing's in range of my rocket artillery. Okay, let's get this cruiser up here. I could screen with my battleships. Although, I wouldn't really be able to do anything about a submerged submarine yet, even if I did find one. Let's get another cruiser. I was turning my nose up at cruisers a few turns ago, but I've changed my mind. They're just so important for dealing with submerged submarines that I need them even though there's no air units. These guys we're going to send over here to deal with this annoyance. Now, other than that, I think I'm going to save my money for like another battleship or something. What are you guys doing on ammo and fuel? 779, 673. Fine for the time being. And yeah, I think that'll do. Oh wow, only a single point of damage? That's it? Man. I know that I have a... I think the Sturm gets a defense boost when he drops a meteor, right? Maybe I should double check that before I say something dumb. Good grief, flex turns take a while. Okay, yeah. Oh wow, plus 30 defense. No wonder he did basically nothing to my rocket artillery. This landing is about to get repelled with extreme prejudice. Everything's in this guy's blind spot, or dead zone. That is a cruiser. Let's move up to here. We'll have reasonable coverage from here. And maybe build another one. I think MLRS are going to be great shore defense batteries, essentially. Now, granted, that dead zone that they have at close range is an annoyance, but... Oh, okay. His submarine is retreating without doing anything because it's running out of fuel. That works for me. My battleships will just blow stuff up with impunity because that's good fun. And we've got an APC right here, so they'll be able to resupply endlessly, pretty much. Alright, I think 2 cruisers will be plenty. And I think that's a turn. Well, pointlessly do, yeah. Oh, 2 points of damage, not awful, not awful. Yeah, from basically the very beginning, this looked to me like a pretty easy, inevitable victory that's just going to take forever. Which is not altogether unlike the previous mission, although I'm going to argue the one against Sensei in the previous map was more difficult, because we had a legitimately intense battle for that center loop for a few turns, where it was not a predetermined outcome the entire time that we would win. Once we gained control of that central loop, though, it was over, and at that point it was just a matter of grinding through his endless waves of mechs that he kept conjuring. But yeah, I don't think there's ever going to be a point in this whole matchup where the outcome is really in doubt. Okay, you first. You know, I might want to bring more APCs up here for more rapid resupply. I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. I think that's worth 5,000. Says it is, I can only resupply 1 ship at a time right now, and that's not amazing. In fact, I'm even willing to spend 10,000 and get 2 more APCs and be able to resupply 3 ships at a time as they come around this bend. Aw, shucks, that puts me 1,000 short of affording another battleship. Fine, I'll get another sub. And, okay, situation over here is handled. I guess this seems fine. Oh. I believe a submerged submarine just attacked one of my battleships. That's alright, I have a cruiser there that will be able to destroy it, so I'm not too concerned. Though we are going to have to send that battleship back for repairs, I think. Its usefulness will be limited while it's injured like that, or damaged, I should say. Okay, and his lander's there, just sticking inside the dead zone of my MLRS. Dastardly so-and-sos that they are. Alright, cruiser. You know what you're doing. Move, cruiser, for great justice. And then this guy can finish him, and everybody lived happily ever after, except the submarine we just sank. Alright, you're going back for repairs. You keep blowing stuff up for fun and profit. Next cruiser, actually, stop here. Alright, now we're getting a proper refueling station going. Excellent. And I'm 400 short of another battleship. Fine. I'll get one next turn. Actually, this turn maybe I'll get another lander. And then I'll get another battleship next turn as well. He's real good at staying in the dead zone of my rocket artillery. That'll be harder to do if I pull them back a bit. Or otherwise redeploy them. That's a battleship. Oh, and I just moved my rocket artillery into its range. Oops. Oh well. Now it's also in range of one of my rocket artillery, so... Oh, I think that, yeah, his rocket artillery is going to be able to shoot this guy. You know what? Pull him back. Neo-tank forward, and... Oh, that was beautiful. Beautiful. Well done. Good job, Neo-tank. You dancing ball, you.
Why think when you can fight?
Well, in order to fight well in this game, Flack, you have to think. That's the thing.
Barbaric blow.
This is not a game of pure reflex. In fact, it's not a game of reflex at all, really. I can't fast forward through this, and he has so many units. Another game that I'm thinking of LPing is getting that... I saw that there was a remaster of the original Front mission, which, if you're not familiar, it's basically a turn-based, grid-based strategy RPG with mechs. And as we've established, I like both mechs and SRPGs, so a game that is both is something that is exciting to me. I have played some Front Mission games, but never the very first one. So a remaster of the first Front Mission is a thing that's pretty exciting to me, and something else I'm fairly interested in LPing. So definitely something else that is on the horizon. Sadly, I still have more things I want to play and do than I have time to do them all. So I'm not necessarily going to be able to play everything that I want to play, at least not in the near future. Now, I know that there was a sub there. I don't think I have enough movement to flush it out with my own sub, sadly. But I'm going to bring my cruisers forward. And we'll be able to get it soon enough. And finally another battleship. Okay, I think that's another turn. Like I said, a slow grind, this map. Could consider yet another rocket artillery. They do seem very useful in this kind of terrain. Even though he does keep parking stuff in their dead zones. Oh, I accidentally put that one cruiser in range of his artillery. That was a derpy thing to do. Ah, well. We're nearly at an hour already, and there's clearly still so much more to do. Alright, if you want to leave your battleship in range of this rocket artillery. Ah, excellent. You know, if we wanted to try to insert a story into these, into this particular war room map, we could say this is a very ill-advised rebellion by Flak against Sturm. And Sturm just absolutely slapping him down. Like, Flak, you idiot. You're like the weakest one of my incompetent subordinates, and you're trying to start a rebellion against me? Get screwed, son! Kind of thing. In my headcanon, I kind of like that idea. Alright, start bringing the next battleship forward. I guess there's no reason to just leave this cruiser here to die. Although maybe I would prefer if this artillery finishes it off instead of damaging this one. Maybe. Oh, there we go. That was pretty good. You're lucky that you're behind a mountain, punk. Okay, well, I think that'll do. Yeah, I really am tireder than I had realized. I'm kind of zoning out a bit. Oh, I'm thinking about work. Which is never a fun thing to think about. Someday I'll retire early. It'll be glorious. I'll have so much more time for making games and writing novels and recording LPs. And going out for beautiful walks. It'll be amazing. But that day is not today, or tomorrow, or the day after. It is a ways in the future. such is life. And honestly, well, I certainly don't love my job. I mean, it's a job, so it kind of sucks. Most people do not love their jobs, and I am not one of the lucky few. As jobs go, it's not awful. Not by a long shot. I'm pretty grateful to have it, really, for what it is. There are certainly many far, far worse jobs out there. That much must be admitted. Alright, just sit there. I think that'll be fine. You're gonna tie up that port for a couple of turns getting repaired, I suppose. I could get another MLRS. Yeah, they're pretty useful. Given given all the bombardment that we're able to do of ships and stuff that we can't really attack any other way. Even if they do spend a lot of time in the dead zone, the more MLRS I have and the more spread out they are, the harder it'll be to get into any other dead zones. Okay. Somebody must be able to shoot that lander. Okay, this guy can do it. Guess screwed. And yeah, I can start sinking some landers with my sub as well. Oh, that's beautiful. There we go. I mean, you know, there is some combat going on, so it's not entirely without action, this matchup. Alright, let's keep moving up the channel. We gotta start making some progress here. Alright, go by the refueling station that we've set up here. Glorious. Alright, you'll only be in there for one more turn because you weren't that damaged, so that's fine. And, that may be about it for now. I'm eventually going to have to load up a lander with some infantry if I'm going to try some kind of HQ capture strategy. Which is looking like the only way I'm going to finish this map in under 3 hours. You know, I can set up another refueling station to the west by getting another APC over there. That might be wise. Oh, did his submarine just stumble into mine? I believe it did. Well, we have something we can do with that. Although, that would put us in range of multiple artillery. Well, just one, really, and a mostly dead MLRS, so maybe... Okay, we can't quite finish it off, though, so... Might as well use the cruiser, I suppose. But yeah, let's set up another refueling station right here. Not to mention, the APCs can take shots for us, which is sort of their primary function. As silly as that is. You keep moving forward. I think you're about at the point where you can dive. Alright, you're all repaired. So, 2 more battleships bringing up the rear. One thing that was cool in Empire that isn't in this game, it's not a big deal that this game doesn't have it or anything, but it was just kind of neat, is you can actually name your units. So you could give your ships cool names and stuff. And if you didn't want to or just weren't feeling creative, it would also assign them names, but you could just then override the assigned names if you wanted. But that was kind of a neat touch, especially when you have a nice powerful ship like a battleship. It was kind of fun giving it a name. Actually, hang on. There, so that the lander has somewhere to land. Okay. So we've got medium, neo, medium, neo, medium, neo. Okay, 3 neos, 3 mediums. The idea is that I'm going to land them, and I'm not going to be able to blow up all this stuff with them. But I am just going to want them to hold the line here for a couple of turns while I have an infantry cap as HQ. Obviously, like I said, I'm going to need 1 more lander, and I'm going to need to put a couple of infantry on it in order to be able to pull off an HQ capture strategy. Anything else for us to do? Oh, yeah, that. There we go. Thanks for the free shot on your lander there. And now I don't think there's really much else for us to do this turn.
Rushing stuff's what I do best.
I don't really have a problem with that per se, Flack. It's just that you're not as good at it as you think you are.
Barbaric blow.
Alright, yeah. Bring it on. You'll probably kill a thing or two. Maybe blow up that poor cruiser with your artillery. I think I might need a couple replacement cruisers soon. But you're not going to accomplish anything truly meaningful. No, he didn't quite kill it. He has rendered it useless, though. And it's a long journey for it to go back and get repairs, which, I don't know, I probably won't even bother. Maybe I'll just use it to screen for submarines for the remainder of its short life. Oh, that's a Neo tank. And dead. Alright, any subs along that row? Nope. How about this one? Nope. How about this one? No. Alright, go ahead and park there then. Sink the lander, because why not? Set up another refueling station. And start bringing that submarine down toward it. I know you're low on fuel. You're about to get refueled. Calm down. Okay, these guys are all loaded up. I don't want to get them in range of his artillery or anything. If we just hug the shoreline, we'll be okay. Yeah, that's a little safe zone there. here. Keep our rocket artillery on patrol looking for prey. You keep moving up the channel, don't bother stopping to shoot meaningless targets. As tempting as it is to take pot shots at medium tanks. Alright, okay, there's the lander I'm going to put a couple of infantry on. So we've got a lander. Replacement cruiser, I think, is a relatively high priority. Right, because that's a battleship. Man, I wish there were more relatively forward ports, but there just aren't. We've got this and these two, which are so far back as to feel almost useless to me. So I think that's another turn. Ordinarily, I cycle through my units that haven't acted yet to know if I missed anything before I end my turn. But in this case, I have so many units just standing around not doing anything, and it's kind of a useless, useless feature at the moment. I guess I can build more APCs for more rearming. Wow, that cheeky lander managed to be in the dead zone of all three of my rocket artillery. That's gotta be a scary place to be, though. You wander in any direction and there's so many things that can shoot at you. Anyway, you guys keep attacking targets on the far shore. Do more submarine screening. Don't see anything. Alright, go ahead and park there. Okay, let's refuel this sub. And reload it, and there we go. Ready to sink more landers, which is what subs excel at. That's definitely a thing in Empire as well, finding loaded transports to sink with your submarines. Great fun when you do it, really sucks when it happens to you. Ooh, he's finally repairing that rocket artillery, which is just out of range, and I really don't want him repairing it. My battleship might actually take just a moment to blow that up, because it's the one thing he's got that's kind of annoying and really needs to die. Oh, there's another battleship, but my refueled and rearmed submarine knows what to do with it. He also has a submarine he just built. I do have a cruiser on the way, though it's going to take it a while. Maybe I should build another one. Nothing in range of this guy. Let's move him here for reloading. He's apparently been firing a lot, because he's low on ammo. Anything else we can do? Well, oh yeah, even when landers are in the dead zone of all my rocket artillery, they are vulnerable to my Neo-Tank. There we go. That's good fun. No, I think that's about all we can do for this turn, really. We're sure accumulating a lot of money. Because the way I'm doing things, I can't really spend it as fast as I'm making it. I mean, yeah, I could just build the most expensive, powerful stuff at every factory I've got, but that would be a stupid waste of my money. So I'm not going to do that. I think I can flush out that submarine with that cruiser. But I'm not sure I want to yet. Okay. Time for that MLRS to say goodbye. And we'll start sinking some landers. Go to it, lads. Nice. Nice. Now, his sub would be able to just blow up my cruiser, but if I hide my cruiser behind my submarines and he goes for it, he'll reveal himself on one of my subs and I'll be able to counter him next turn. Nah, you just come forward more. You guys are going to want to hide behind the subs, since we know there's an active enemy sub nearby. Aha. I see what you're trying. There, if the battleship comes any closer, our MLRS will be able to attack it. Alright, looks like it's time for you to pick up some infantry. That's the only way we're going to be able to pull off the HQ capture strat. Cruisers coming up. Let's get another battleship. Or, you know, I can spend even more money if I get another lander and a couple of Neo-tanks to put on it. There, our funds were starting to get a little out of control. Now they're down to a more reasonable level. I'll build another battleship next turn. Despite the sort of mandatory, grindy slog nature of this map, I'm not bored. I am having a good time. It is fun. Oh, and that went exactly according to plan. His submarine stumbling into mine. That said, I am hoping that not every single remaining War Room map is as long as this, because that would become tiresome. So hopefully this is an outlier in terms of its layout being specifically designed to just take forever to grind through it. That's okay once in a while. I don't have a problem with a few maps being like that, but I would get a little irritated if we have to put up with this a whole lot. I probably should have attacked his battleship with my submarine. I acted a little too quickly, I think. Oh well, it is what it is. Alright, this rocket artillery will be able to hit it anyway, and my subs will be able to hit it next turn. So it'll get off one volley and then it's dead. And my landers aren't in range of it, so it can't do anything too devastating. It might sink my cruiser. That's okay. The cruiser's just kind of been running around like an idiot anyway. I mean, it has one hit point. What's it gonna do? Alright, you hop on there. Not in range of anything there, so we're fine. You fill the gap. And you stop at Refueling Station 1. Refueling Station East, we'll call it. And a battleship. We've almost charged up another meteor. Yeah, go ahead and go there. And is that another turn? I think it is. Another thing on the LP list is... Oh, here we go again. You can tell I'm inflicting a lot of casualties on him with how often he's activating this. Another thing on my LP list, I'll buy it lower priority than any of the other things I've talked about, which are Advance Wars, Days of Ruin, some mech games, including Armored Core, and Front Mission. Those are higher priority, but after those, another thing I'm thinking of is just going through a bunch of old school Sega Genesis and Nintendo games. Because I am quite a retro gamer at heart. Most of my favorite games are games from like the 90s, which, you know, that was Sega Genesis and Nintendo era. And some stuff from the early 2000s as well. And I just really have fun playing through old retro games, so I have done a few of those on my channel, and it's something I want to get back to at some point.
Prepare to embrace darkness.
But that's a little farther out in the future. Definitely something on my radar, though. Nice. We'll easily be able to finish off that battleship then. And then a peaceful bird chirping after the meteor falls and it obliterates armies. Goodbye. And my cruiser is somehow still alive. This thing is amazing, surviving this long with 1 hit point. Alright, let's start moving the landers around. And this guy apparently is low on fuel. He has been submerged for a long time. Time for you to get refueled. You've been patiently waiting for a while. Battleships will be next in line. I think a Neo tank is worth finishing off. Even if it means a bit of a delay moving forward. And sure, another battleship. Honestly, this is basically the quintessential map for lots of artillery ships, so... It is interesting how you even get sort of alternate versions of everybody's themes on these menus. And some of them are pretty cool, to be honest. There are occasionally even times where I almost think I might like the menu version better than the main version of a theme. Yes, being nice isn't really in Sturm's playbook. It's true. I don't think he would ever claim that it is. We're actually thinning his numbers a little bit, aren't we? Though there's still an insane amount of stuff. Oh, good lord, is that another battleship? Can my submarine get at it? No. Well, sink the lander then. I think this cruiser might finally meet its end. Because I can put it in the battleship's dead zone, but... Yeah, just do some submarine screening here. Come on, there we go. Alright, looks clear, lads. I guess I could cheekily park in here. That's good fun. His battleship will probably still blow it up, but... Oh, my landers aren't going to want to get any closer while that battleship is there, that's for sure. Man, this... Didn't I just rearm and refuel this guy, and he's already low on ammo again? Alright, well you guys can all kind of hide in this cove here until we've blasted our way through and the coast is clear. Oh, you're kind of hurt, aren't you? Alright, go ahead and repair then. Honestly, I don't think it's worth my time to finish that off, so sit here, get repaired and reloaded. You're next in line. Alright, more battleships coming up. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna load a Neo tank onto you. Donk. And another battleship. For great justice. Let's keep chasing his artillery around like jerks. Just because it's fun. Artillery harassment is what it is, I tell ya. Oh, yeah? Oh. I didn't notice that. Well played, I suppose. You've damaged my refueling station. Damn you. Alright. Oh, I didn't realize I was parking it in range. Oops, my bad. Well, maybe it'll blow up an APC instead. They do love to do that. Oh, I actually can't afford another one this time. He still has not attacked my cruiser. I think that cruiser is just going to live forever. It's actually going to go all the way to the end of the match and not die. It's going to be miraculous. Alright, this guy's going to have to go back for reloading. He's almost out of torpedoes. You are full up, so move out. You join the other landers at that cove. Alright, you guys can get refueled and rearmed. You've still got 86 fuel. Ships do have a lot of fuel. I sometimes think of them as running out fast, but I think that's just because of submerged submarines, is always what I'm thinking of. Other ships, their fuel lasts a long, long time. So I don't necessarily need to worry about reloading everything that I send by here, or refueling, rather. And are we good? I think we're good. I could get another cruiser. Oh geez, that went by so fast I didn't even see what got shot. Oh, I think his MLRS shot my APC. Ha! He took the bait. Good. Let's retaliate with our battleship. Teach him the error of his rude ways. Geez, he just built another battleship in that port up there. Well, we'll deal with that in a moment. I guess you could afford to get some repairs. Really? This game appears to have a unit limit. Who knew? Who knew? Can I delete a unit? Yes. Ooh, this feels kind of mean. I guess we can just say we're not deleting, we're disbanding. We're disbanding the unit. Go home, men. Okay, well, I just learned something new. The game has a unit limit. I guess that just goes to show the ridiculous amount of stuff that's been getting produced, that we actually ran into that for the first time here. And it simultaneously shows the lack of combat going on, relatively. I mean, obviously there's some combat going on. Oh, right. Duh. We literally just went over that. Can I only delete one unit per turn or something? Or can I not delete a unit that's already acted, maybe? Okay. Can't delete a unit that's already acted. That makes sense. Otherwise you could attack with it and then delete it, and that would be kind of silly. There we go. Okay. He built yet another battleship. You need to start sailing back for reloading. And refueling, too. You are, after all, a submerged submarine. Okay, well. I think we're good for this turn. That is one stubborn MLRS just sitting there getting blown up by a battleship while it tries to kill APCs. It has such ravenous hatred for APCs that it's willing to throw its own life away, completely pointlessly, in a futile effort to kill them, as it is shelled by a battleship. There's a moral lesson here about the futility of hatred. How it's only self-destructive. It ultimately only hurts you in the end. At least it sure hurt that rocket artillery. And it didn't kill any of my APCs. Right. Geez, do I even care? Maybe I'm done building units then. Alright, let's do some more submarine screening. Alright, seems fine. Well, I was a little bit of a slacker about it that time. Didn't try on that row or anything. There we go. One downside of the fact that it's just APCs that refuel things like naval units and air units and not, you know, like a special refueling plane and refueling ship, especially in the case of naval units, is it's can be a little trickier to set up these kind of ad hoc resupply points, because you have to have a beach where you can do it. Whereas if you had like a refueling ship, it could sail around with your fleet, and that would be a lot more flexible. But it is what it is. I think that's... Oh! Let's not pass up that free damage we can do. And we almost forgot about this lander. Pretty sure it's out of range, yes. Okay, it's a pretty fearsome landing force. A mix of 8 Neo and medium tanks is nothing to sneeze at. And then... oh, Flak is starting to panic. And then a mere 2 infantry, but it's not like you need more than 1 to capture the headquarters. Honestly, the second guy is just for redundancy purposes. It's a pretty fearsome fleet that we have sailing up his channel. I can see why he feels intimidated. That would be in range of this, yeah. Let's not just pointlessly stop our ships in range of his artillery. Blowing up transports with submarines is always such good fun. And so very mean. Actually, let's be cheeky and park in his port again. Honestly, I think these battleships bringing up the rear, it might not be a horrible decision to start just blowing up some of this stuff with them. Just to help the landing force by thinning out his numbers, which are already growing quite thin. I must have really been doing a lot of damage to him. I didn't realize just quite how much I was, but I think just through attrition, I've really been chewing through his forces with this slow grind. Oops, that was a silly mistake on my part. Should have seen that. It's not like it was really difficult to see that, but oh well. Hardly the end of the world. Oh, well, okay, his forces are suddenly not looking quite as thin. He just built a whole bunch of stuff. Well, our rear battleship fleet can help out with that. What's that? Got too many units? Just call Sturm. Sturm's Navy. They will help you out with that problem. Okay, well, we can take care of that Neo tank. That's what you get for being annoying. Don't do it again. Well, I guess you'll never do anything again, will you? Only 27%. That's very poor. I don't want to just throw my submarines. Okay, and it's also running out of fuel. And is low on ammo. You know what? Go here, surface, and you're going to return home for refueling and rearming. You might as well surface, because I don't think there's really any need for you to stay submerged. It's just going to cause you to go through your fuel too quickly. Guess the landers can start coming forward. I don't see anything that will threaten them. Let's stay away from the shore. Well, I mean, he doesn't have any tanks. He does have an AA. I don't think an AA is going to do diddly squat against a lander. And we're out of range of his artillery, so I think it's safe to have them near the shoreline.
Stay out of my way. Barbaric blow.
Oh, well, our cruiser didn't survive after all, because I was careless and I put it in range of an artillery. And I just wasn't paying attention, again. Because I very often kind of fail to pay attention. We've all seen this many times. Alright, well, let's maybe not make that same mistake again. This space is safe. Actually. Okay, yeah, just this space is a little safe zone in here. And the one immediately southwest of it should also be, and it is. Battleships forward. Actually, landers, move back a bit to give the battleships room. There we go. Not much in range of these guys. Let's have him come forward a little bit. Force his units... Oh, this guy does have stuff in range. I did lose a couple units, so I could build something again. And not have Nell scold me. We'll get another battleship, because why not? And yeah, looks good to me, as our fleet is kind of threading the needle between these artillery. And that's just a cruiser, so we don't need to fear it. Oh! I was careless again. I put my battleship in range of that artillery. What a dope. I was so focused on the cruisers that I just didn't pay attention to that. Derp-a-derp-derp. Alright, so the battleships are definitely going to need to thin out these artillery, which are becoming an annoyance. Oh! Where did that Neo-tank come from? Did he have a Neo-tank that I just didn't see? Because that's a whole new level of inattentiveness. The artillery are definitely the biggest problem, because they can take so many pot shots at our ships as they go by. Are you gonna make it home, sailors? We'll find out. They're wishing I had done those calculations beforehand. Oh, okay, I'm back to 50 again already. Well, our landers are kind of jammed up for the moment, waiting for the battleships to blow up the artillery so they can get through a bit more safely. And anybody in range of this? Nope. They've wisened up and they're staying back. I think that's another turn then. Oh wait, we've got this guy. We can bring him forward. The stupid artillery is regenning too because it's on that city. It's all kinds of annoying. I kind of need more... Oh, unlucky. Those poor submariners. Come on, just die. That medium... Oh, geez. And the Neo... We need more battleships up here, to be honest. 3 isn't enough. Alright, fall where you will, Meteor. Anywhere should be helpful. Okay, that's not actually true. There are places that wouldn't be, but... Anywhere it's likely to fall should be helpful. Oh, well. Whatever. Alright, you guys, I know that I'm the one who told you to sit back here and kind of shell the enemy from behind, but, I kind of need you to come forward now, actually. Well, I mean, they can blow up this guy from this side if they just get in range, so that's fine. There, let's make it real hard for this artillery to get away. I just need to move them closer to the shore so they can provide proper help with destroying these artillery, that's all. Let's delete another pointless unit. Or disband. We sent them all home. And there. Get another battleship. You might think 3 battleships would be enough. You would be wrong, apparently. Hopefully 6, and then we've got yet another one. Yet another, yeah, coming. Hopefully that'll be enough. That is an undamaged Neo tank that I don't want getting anywhere near that lander. If I touch that hot stove enough times, eventually I learn. Day 44, wow. Good. That artillery just needs to die so bad. Finally. Ridiculous how long that took. Get this lander out of our way. Yeah, kill this cruiser. They'll be safe along the mountains, because a land unit or a vehicle can't get in the mountains to attack them. Forward, landers, forward. That should be okay, because it's not actually adjacent to a shoreline. Some of them have taken a little damage, but that's alright. What do you have in you? Okay, a couple of Neos. There's the one that we really can't afford to lose. So let's not put it there, where the Neo could come down and shoot it. Oh, the Neo can shoot that one. Oops. Maybe even sink it. How much would it suck losing 2 Neos to my carelessness? Quite a bit. It would suck quite a bit, but oh well. We'll press on. Because I'm too lazy to restart the turn and do that over again. Think I'm at 50 units still? No, I'm not. Well, now we find out if we lose our most valuable lander, at least in money terms. Nope, not even close. Which is fortunate that that little mistake of mine didn't cause me to lose 2 Neo tanks and a lander. That would be an expensive loss. Let's see, 44,000 for the Neos. Add another 12, 56,000. That would be an expensive loss. Is that the most expensive possible loss in the game? A lander with 2 Neos in it? I think so. Can't think of something that would cost more. At any rate, that was rude, so die, swine. Alright, you guys keep on screening for subs, because our landers are coming in. Battleships, keep on softening up the landing zone. The operation is getting close now. There we go. Actually, you come forward. I don't really care about you attacking those infantry. Yeah, you go ahead and refuel here. Now I think I'm at 50? Yep. Oh, a Neo tank. Let's just blow that up on principle. Oops. I was a little too quick on the draw there. Okay, didn't matter. That was a good use of 22,000 credits, wasn't it, Flack? Someday. Lander, someday. Oh man, we're almost there. It's almost go time. You guys plug up his ports so he doesn't build stuff there. Yeah, I think that's a good call. Where's the one with the infantry? There it is. That one is undamaged, which is fortunate. While it's by far the least expensive lander, it's also the only one that the operation will completely fail if that lander gets sunk, so let's try not to have that happen. You know, I guess my description of what this landing is going to need to do earlier wasn't actually accurate. Because I was saying I was going to need to form kind of a blockade to the south to prevent his units from coming up and stopping the capture. Not really true, is it? What I need to do is blow up all the stuff that's going to be sitting around his HQ and then park my guys on his factories to prevent him from building more stuff and killing my infantry while they try to do the capturing. That's what's actually going to need to happen. And before that, I'm going to want to soften it up with my battleships, I suppose. The landing zone, that is. There we go. Okay. I think next turn it's go time. Boy, this is just classic. Softening up the landing zone with your artillery ships, and then you send in the landers and drop off all your guys to try to secure the area. Then you bring in the artillery for occupation, or not the artillery, the infantry for occupation. This is old school warfare here. And also very reminiscent of Empire, where that sort of operation is a very common thing. Sadly, Empire had pretty messed up combat resolution tables that would return fairly absurd results on a disturbingly frequent basis, which was a fairly significant detriment to an otherwise really cool game, especially for how far back it was. That is old school. But yeah, the combat resolution tables were pretty squirrely in that game. Alright, oh, that is a Neo tank. Let's blow that up if we can. Well, we damaged it. And I'm getting tired of waiting, so it's go time. Alright, men. You know what to do. Destroy every blue thing you come across. Let none survive. Okay, not the water. Don't destroy that. That won't work. The water is not very destructible. Everything else that's blue, blow it away. We need you to take this landing zone for our infantry. And I don't know what purpose you even serve, but sure, keep coming up the channel. These guys will just keep sitting here to take hits and prevent him from building anything in that port. Okay. I hope this doesn't fail. Because if this fails, oh my lord, this is already 2 hours long.
Stuff's what I do best.
Oh no, I should have taken into account he had Barbaric Blow ready to go.
Barbaric blow.
That's going to make the landing a bit messier. Ugh, my landing forces are going to get hit hard then. Okay. Okay, this isn't so bad so far. Okay. Oh, that sucked. Okay. He must have gotten a good Barbaric Blow roll to do that much damage to that Neotank with a mech. That was bad. And then he builds a bunch more stuff. Other than that, it wasn't too awful. Okay. Alright. Operation is still a go. We're still in this, folks. Ah, there's his Neotank. Right, I remember now. It went up there. Alright, this is going pretty smoothly. Okay. Yeah, it's not going too bad. It's looking promising. Infantry lander? Not yet, but be prepared. Soon it'll be time for you to do your thing. Alright, of course he continues building stuff, and we're gonna need to put a stop to that before we land our infantry, or the capture operation will never work. Oh, I should be destroying stuff with my battleships, too. Okay, yeah, go ahead and open fire. Good, okay. We're gonna want to put something on that factory. Good, good. Alright, put something on this factory. Okay. I think we've shut down his production capacity here. I think we're ready. I'm going to hold the other one in reserve, just so if I've somehow managed to overlook something, he can't immediately kill them both. I don't think so. This looks like a pretty secure landing zone to me. I'll blow up some dudes just to be spiteful. Oh, this guy didn't even get in on the action. Get in there, you lazy sod. Actually, you know what? I've got an even better job for you. Sit on a factory. Alright, I think we've got this in the bag, folks. Operation HQ capture was a success. And I'm pretty sure this was faster than trying a map wipe. Which is really saying something considering we're over 2 hours. What a video. Good grief. Alright. We've done it. Alright. There's nothing he can do to stop it now. And finally. That went basically as I predicted. Our worst rank in quite a while. It didn't give me much in the way of power. I don't know why it dinged me so hard on power points. I feel like I had some turns where I blew up a whole lot of stuff, but c'est la vie. Apparently it was in love with our technique score. One could criticize that map in that there was never really any tension. At no point did I feel like I was in the slightest danger of losing or that my inevitable victory was in any doubt. And yet, it was a 2-hour slog and grind. And yet, I didn't hate that map at all. I had fun playing it, in fact. In a way, it was kind of weirdly relaxing for most of it. But as I said, I do hope it was an outlier in terms of taking that long. If that starts to become a recurring theme, considering there's like still 19 of these left, and they continue to be 2-hour epic slogfests, my motivation to continue on could wane, I'm not gonna lie. So hopefully some of these will start not taking as long. I guess I will throw out a little caveat, so to speak. Because looking at these, I'm afraid a lot of these are gonna take a really long time. And although I did say this when I started on the War Room maps, I'm just gonna reiterate. I'm going to do these on a discretionary basis, although I have been uploading these such that I'm going to be, up to this point, continuing my 5 per week schedule. From this point onward, I don't promise that's going to keep being true. It may be that the uploads for these War Room maps start to get more spaced out. Just because it's looking like a lot of these are going to take a really long time. And that's a lot of time to spend on recording just these when I have so many other things to do. So do not be shocked if the pace of the Advance War uploads starts to slow a bit from here. Alright, well I guess that's enough discussing the logistics of it. So next up, whenever that will be, is going to be Toil Ferry against Hawk. I'll see you then.